It definitely comes down to their connection with their fans. Who has a greater impact on the game as a whole, who has a greater impact with their fans and are able to move fans in a certain way. And I think that's the biggest lesson to learn from all of this. Like, no matter what big three or what Mount Rushmore you want to talk about, do you have the music or the message? You got to have good music, obviously, that goes without being said. But the message is what gives you that longevity and that deeper connection with your fan base, in my point of view, because that helps solidify your brand identity that you were talking about, KP, with your image. You know what I'm saying? The message ties in with your image as long as they both fit together, obviously, right? If you fit both of those together, your message and your image, and then put that on dope music, that's like the cocktail.
I'm unstoppable like rolling, cracking out the modes. Never mind the road, I go whichever I'ma go. Nothing stop me though, rain, sleet, summer, snow. I'ma grind through it.
What's up, y'all? Harco's here with the Music Making Sense podcast, and with me as always is the one, the only KP, and we're here today to talk to you about music marketing, branding, and how to have success as an independent artist, as we do on every single episode right here of the Music Making Sense podcast. And we're recording this just a few days before the eclipse here in 2024, and apparently the world has to stop because the sun and the moon are going to go along the same path in regards to our view looking up, and it's pretty ridiculous. So I've been dealing with some dumbass people, but you know, that's to be expected when everybody thinks the world needs to stop. But I'm also one of those type of people who doesn't stop for shit, so I get it. Some people like to take vacations every weekend, and I just grind. But how you been doing, KP? You been doing good, man?
Yeah, man.
You got the vest on.
Oh yeah,
looking
brother.
extra vestacular.
Yeah, looking.
That's kind of close to
yeah.
There we go.
That one, dude. That one gets this. That's good. That gets this one right here, brother.
There we go. Yeah, that's a small
brother.
one. There you go.
Got to get that one in. But y'all already know who we are.
Powered by Riverside FM.
Yep.
Hello.
Got the Riverside on here. Riverside's been doing good. I've been using it a lot lately. KB been using it besides our podcast. We've been using it for anything that we would normally use Zoom for.
Yep.
Yeah, it's dope.
It's very dope. Check it out, guys. You definitely want it. And great for podcasting. So, but anyway, man, just kind of tell you a little bit, but just kind of give you guys a little short, little thing about going on today. I have dropped from DistroKid and Bandzoogle.
Yep, KP has officially left the reservation.
All right, but here's the thing, just to give you guys a little quick reason why I decided to do it.
Well, for one, you left DistroKid because last episode I told you that you were going to. You had no choice. You know, remember, because we were talking about the United Masters situation and how I'm.
What he gonna do? He said I was gonna go over here
and you
Sony.
did.
I haven't gone yet. I haven't gone yet. All right,
but still,
I haven't gone yet. But anyway, y'all, check it out. So anyway, just to save Harco's face and not to make him look like a pure.
I don't mind looking like a pure piece of shit asshole,
well,
man. Everybody knows what's real up.
No, I wasn't gonna say that. I was gonna say you make you looking like Massa, trying to tell me what to do. But
hey,
I'm not
I'm the master
like
of
that.
my own destiny. Goddamn it, that's how I am.
See, he trying to flip it on, but y'all can see y'all can see what I'm talking about here. Y'all see it.
You know damn well I don't have any control over you like that, dude. Get the fuck out of here. Exactly.
Hey, man. But anyway, but check it out, though. So anyway, we have been, but on a serious tip, guys, him and I, we both been talking about it. And the fact that why not? Like, it would kind of be stupid not to, like, for me to just not work with my fucking co-host, my podcast partner in crime, right? When we're in this together and we're pretty much in business together. So like, why not work with him on the side where I could get distribution? And then with Bandzoogle, the reason I dropped it is because I couldn't change the name, the domain name. Sorry. I couldn't change the domain name. So, and I wanted to because I wanted to put it into my band domain, right? So I want to use my band name and then my new moniker with the way you guys saw what I looked with the last video we had with our last episode that we had, right? So I wanted to change that so to be able to have a persona where people don't get confused about, okay, this is what I'm doing musically, and I'm done with the free jazz stuff. So that's another reason as well.
All right, y'all. I just wanted to hop in here really quick and let you know about my company. I know a lot of times we're sitting here talking to you about all the different companies that rock with us here at Music Making Sense Podcast, but I just figured I'd hop in here really quick and let you know about my company and the services that I offer. Now, my company is called Apex Music System, and you can find that over at apexmusicsystem.com. You can find a full list of all the services that I offer over there in my company. If you're a podcaster or you have an online business or you're an artist, I can help you out with anything, all right? I got services such as website building, email marketing, video editing, social media management, ad management, creative content, strategy, consultations, and I can help you out no matter what your budget is. Now that's key right there. I got great prices. Plus I have a wide variety of low, medium, and high tier services. So I can help you out no matter what your need is. So make sure you go check out my company over at apexmusicsystem.com. And, like I tell you every time, make sure you let them know that I told you about my company right here on Music Making Sense Podcast. So I know that this ad's actually working. All right, I'm going to shut up so you can get back to the show.
So I want to be able to just put out a steady, consistent brand with this. So that's why I changed up. And then also it gives me time to work on the music and then getting with Hark here so I could get the music on distribution. We're looking at Sony Orchard. So, right. So I'm looking at that.
Well, and it's a lot better deal on Sony. Yeah, obviously you know me. So, I mean, it's a good relationship portion on that side. But
exactly,
it's a lot better situation. You don't have to worry about the annual fee. You don't have to worry about all these add-on fees that a lot of them are annual. For YouTube Content ID, it went up. It used to be cheaper than this.
Hell
but
yeah.
now it is $14.95 per year
per
song.
Hold up, no, Pippin. Dude, I just realized, I just looked on my phone. I looked on my phone, right? And I checking my finances. Man, bruh, these jokers took out $134 from me because of doing the Mixier. Because you can master your stuff, right? It's actually, I'm not $134. I'm sorry. They took $109.10 out, dude, just for that service. And I'm just like, you got to be fucking kidding me. And I've only did a couple songs, right? But they taken off that for that service yearly. I'm like, okay, it's way, dude. The fees are just way too damn much. You're paying you got it's like hidden fees. You got your YouTube content ID. You have
the store
maximizer. You have
legal legacy. You got the discovery pack, which is a new one they added on. See, the YouTube content ID used to only be like $6.95 per song, right? But then they have changed it since then to where it's $14.95 a year per song, plus 20% of YouTube ad revenue from the matches that they detect, right? So there's that. Plus the store maximizer, where DistroKid will deliver it to the new online stores and streaming services as they're added for $7.95 a year per track as well too. Don't forget that.
Yep.
And then the Leave a Legacy is a one-time $50 fee. That one's not recurring. But then there's the discovery pack, and the Leave a Legacy basically means if you stop with DistroKid, they'll never delete the music.
Music's all on for legacy, yeah.
Right, exactly. But then there's also the discovery pack, which adds it to global databases and catalog for music information and stuff. Yeah. And it says only 99 cents per track, but it says $6.93 a year. Oh, that's because when I was looking at this, it was on my EP.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's like they charge all this stuff. A lot of them are reoccurring. And So like you have your annual fee for just having the service, you know, 20, 40, $80, whichever package you pick. And
Right.
then you also have these add-on fees that will hit periodically throughout the year because, you know, you don't upload songs just one time a year. You upload them throughout the year. And so then they'll start reoccurring the next year. And then that next year you're adding more songs. And so then the next year you got double the amount of reoccurring, and it keeps on snowballing. And next thing you know, you're paying hundreds of dollars a year just to have tracks up for YouTube Content ID, you know? And so like with the Sony Orchard distribution, like they don't have any annual fees, no reoccurring fees, no add-on fees, none of that shit. So you can save a ton of money on it. You know, you don't have to worry about all that shit. And, you know, once people recognize that, they're like, yo, what the fuck? And I'm like, yo, look, I'm telling you, there's that. Plus, there's all this shit that they were getting sued for and accused of doing, of messing with numbers, withholding payout. They'll just randomly like say that somebody had fraudulent streams and just boot them off the fucking service and then not give them any of their royalties, even if that artist can show receipts of hundreds or thousands of dollars in YouTube ads or in Facebook ads and stuff like that. Tunecore is doing the same thing. There's this YouTube channel called Top Music Attorney or whatever, some chick with like a red stripe in her hair. But she's apparently some music attorney. I know
you're talking about.
Yeah.
I know you're talking about.
And she is representing an artist in a lawsuit against Tunecore because this artist got kicked off of Tunecore and they withheld tens of thousands of dollars worth of streams from paying this artist because they said it was fraudulent. And the artist, through the lawyer, turned in how they had spent tens of thousands of dollars in Facebook ads. And they're like, look, here's all the ads throughout the whole year, everything like that, all through Meta and everything like that. Look at all these thousands and thousands, tens of thousands of dollars I spent on ads. These are legitimate streams. Pay me my fucking money. And they're still being like, oh, well, you know, the stream count doesn't match recently with the ads and stuff like that. So these look fraudulent. It's like, she's like, well, you kicked my client off in 2021. Of course they don't have any streams in 2023.
Right.
Like, you know, so they're playing around as well too.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then you got fucking, you know, CD Baby that charges an exorbitant percentage every fucking, you know, thing as well too.
CD Baby
and then you
Mama.
got CD Baby Mama, and then you got the United Slave Masters out there that are fucking doing all their dumb shit. And you know, I keep seeing people they're talking about, oh, well, I'm just gonna leave. You reminded me of it. You're dying laughing. Yeah, but that was from last week's episode. If y'all happen to miss that, but yeah, like a lot of people are like, oh, I'm leaving DistroKid, I'm leaving TuneCore, I'm going into United Masters, and they're like, oh, I'm going to United Masters, it's a better deal, and I'm like, it's about the same deal.
About the same deal, guys.
And it's going to get worse because I remember when DistroKid first started back in like 2018. I think whenever I first got on DistroKid. And I remember it was just $20 a year, and it was like $1 for Shazam per track, like a one-time fee, and then like a one-time fee for the YouTube Content ID. And now it's reoccurring charges per track and everything like that. Like they are raping the fuck out of the indies. And, you know, a few episodes back when we went over the whole fucking minimum wage, living wage for musicians bill or whatever the fuck it's called. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Living Wage for Musicians Act. Where they're wanting to raise the streaming royalties from 0.003 cents per stream up to 1 whole penny, which is hundreds of percents of increase. You know, it would be equivalent of taking the minimum wage from $7 an hour to like $60 an hour or more. You know what I'm saying? Like that would just collapse the fucking economy. And immediately everything, like, you know, a McDonald's fucking Big Mac meal would be like $30 immediately. You know, stuff like that. And so that's going to happen in the music industry too, especially with the indies. So that's why I've been out there on here as well as on social media trying to be like, you need to get over here before it's hard to get over here. You know what I'm saying? You need to come over here to Sony Orchard before shit hits the fan, because shit will hit the fan. It's already starting to hit, and you got to make sure you get out, you know? And so, yeah, and absolutely,
I'm going to get back on, I'm gonna get back on Bandzoogle, because I love their services, and again, being able to have my music on my website plus having the service of Sony Orchard,
Mm-hmm.
it's just gonna be, and it's just be a way easier. And also, I'm dropping my label. I'm not gonna have a label myself,
Mm-hmm.
Because I can't handle it, guys. I'm not trying to do it anymore. So I just come to that realization as well. And
sometimes you gotta cut some stuff in order to
sometimes
go
you gotta
forward
do that,
faster,
guys.
you know?
Yeah,
And it's all about going forward faster. It's not like you're quitting everything and just going to hide away. You're like
yeah,
you're shedding some weight and fucking adjusting your path, you know?
yeah.
And I mean, you said you like Bandzoogle. I mean, you know, I talked to you about doing Wix instead, but you wanted Bandzoogle. Okay, fine, cool, whatever. You know,
Yep.
having a website is where it actually matters. You know what I'm saying? Who you go through for a website, that's your business. But having a website is definitely key. That's why I keep telling these artists as well too. You know, I'm like, having a link tree is cool, but fuck, build a website. You know, and then you know, you said that the main reason that you're dropping your Bandzoogle is because they wouldn't let you fucking change the domain.
You can't change the domain,
which is crazy. So that yes, you had to cancel that and start a new one for your new project. Which okay, fine, whatever. You know, but yeah, that it's gonna be a good path for you though, man. You know, because sometimes you know you got to readjust when things change. You readjust. You know, and there's nothing wrong with that. You know, and I think that's what a lot of people fear is they fear the change because. You know, a lot of people will think, "Oh, well, I've been on this path for so long. If I stop it and go on a different path, people are gonna think, oh, well, you know, you're not serious, or oh, you're a quitter, oh, you blah blah blah. You didn't see it through, or whatever." But it's like, no, like I'm still in the same lane. You know, I'm still going the same direction. I'll just change lanes. You know, and that's what you're doing. You know, it's like, yeah, you tried the free jazz stuff and stuff like that because you were kind of coming off of.
Yeah,
right, exactly. But I mean, you gotta think about it too. Like you had been doing metal frontman shit for a couple decades or whatever. Yeah. And so then like, you know, you left that in some not great circumstances, right? And so then, you know, you're like, okay, well, let me try something different. So you went completely different, did some experimentation, which is awesome. And then you're like, you know what? I want to go back home. You know, I tried something else. I tried a few other things. You tried multiple different things. And you're like, look, no, this ain't for me. This ain't for me. This ain't for me. I tried it. So I saw for sure if it was or was not. But now I'm going to go back to this other direction, you know? And that's exactly what you need to do sometimes, you know? Like with me, where I was teaching myself how to do everything because I didn't have much money. So I was spending my time to learn how to build websites and do a lot of other things, you know, market my music and stuff like that. And I come to the realization, I'm like, yo, I like doing the marketing more than I like marketing my own music. You know what I'm saying? Like I could touch so much more people, not in a Michael Jackson way, but in an actual positive way.
Leave Michael alone, dude. Tired of this shit.
Okay, so and not in an R. Kelly type of way, but I could actually, you know, help change people's lives more by helping them with their marketing. You know, I gotta say somebody if I say touch somebody, but
oh gosh, man.
Well, R. Kelly's got the song "Touch." Is that touch or is that something else?
Dude, just
no,
go with the subject. Just back to the subject.
Anyway. So yeah, I mean, but like, you know, me making my music and shit, it's dope. I have fun with it and stuff like that. But I can only change so many people's lives and help them change their life by doing that. You know, I mean, it's kind of like the difference between a motivational speaker and like an actual life coach, you know? And so like, that's the kind of way I'm going, not with a life coach, but like with a music marketing, you know, specialty and stuff like that, and helping people and labels and stuff like that, you know? And yeah, I like it so much better, man, because, you know, I'm not just thinking about myself all the time. You know, I'm trying to help all these other people, and I get a rush out of it. Like I love whenever I'm like giving people new ideas and like, oh man, I never thought about that before. Like the excitement in them, and to see them motivated. And they're like, okay, I'm gonna get off here right now and go do it. I'm like, yeah, that's it makes me feel dope. You know, it makes me feel awesome. Yeah. So yeah, you know, changing the way you do things. You know, like I had my previous podcast for a little over 4 years. You know, it was a radio show style podcast. I played people's hip hop from all across the planet. Did that once, twice a week for fucking 4 years. And I put it up because I'm like, look, I can only go so far with this. I could go further, but I'm like, I just not feeling it anymore. Like it's becoming a chore. And it wasn't going the way I wanted it to. So I'm like, let me switch. Sometimes you have to. So, you know, there's a message for every one of y'all listening right now. If sometimes you got to change your lane, but still go the same direction, or maybe just, navigate to a new point. Don't think as quitting or you're a failure. You just gotta, now you get something else to go win at. All right, y'all, let me take a quick break right here to tell you about something that's completely fucking ridiculous, okay? It's called horribledesigns.com. And I personally know the owner, and he's just as ridiculous as this whole fucking company is, okay? If you or someone you know loves stickers and mugs and shirts with crazy, outlandish sayings on them that just are designed to catch people's attention out in public and get them to laugh and point and ask you, hey, where'd you get that t-shirt, or where'd you get that sticker, when they see it on your car and stuff like that, y'all got to go check out horribledesigns.com. At horribledesigns.com, they have all kinds of ridiculous sayings on stickers and coffee mugs, t-shirts, vinyl stickers, magnets, and even mouse pads, okay? And I'm telling you, if you guys have not checked out horribledesigns.com, you got to go check it out, because some things are straight up great, like the American Muscle mouse pad. It's got some awesome pictures of great muscle cars if you're into cars, or you know somebody who's into muscle cars and they need some great mouse pad to have while they're on the computer working. But then they also have dumbass fucking t-shirts that say things like, are you staring at my ass, with a picture of a donkey on it, or stickers that say, are you staring at my beaver, with a picture of a beaver on it. Stuff like that, man. Completely ridiculous shirts and stickers, coffee mugs, everything like that. Anything that you could ever think about having just to get people's attention, make a statement out in public, and just completely be ridiculous, and to do it with some horrible designs at the exact same time. And like I said, I know the owner, so he hooked us up with a great deal where you can save right now by using the link below in the description. Whenever you go there and shop, you will not only support Music Making Sense podcast, but you also get a great deal on any and everything that you decide to purchase every time that you use that link right there in the description below. So make sure you go check that out right now, horribledesigns.com. Use the link below in order to get good savings. Go check it out. Buy some ridiculous shit for yourself or someone you know. All right, now let's get back to the show.
Yep. And then just stay consistent with what you're good at, and just work on that, and then just improve the things that you know that to help you improve on the things that you know that will help you elevate what you're good at, like content. If you're a great singer, focus on your content creating, right? To get around your focus around your singing, so then people can actually see your talent. Right? That's
and I mean, whatever you do, consistency is key. I mean, that's just to go without saying, Right.
But I'm just saying, like, in particularly, like, if you have that certain skill that you are good at, then, and if you, but you want to showcase it more, then work on your content creation, or, things like that. So that's what absolutely. So that's what we're trying to say. But
being consistent in everything and being creative is definitely key. And the main thing that we came here to talk to you about was not about what me and KP are doing, because even though this is our podcast, it's not where we sit up here and stroke our own egos all day. But like, we're actually coming here to talk to you about, oh, you're not going to do a drum roll. Okay. I thought you were going to do a drum roll or something, but I knew you were going to do something about the big three. And no, we're not talking about Ice Cube's basketball thing, which, he's been having an uphill struggle with that thing, man. He's been getting literally blackballed by the NBA, which is fucked up. But we can talk about what everybody else is talking about for some reason, is the big three between Drake, Kendrick, and J.Cole. And KP brought that up to me, and he's wanting to kind of talk about that. And KP has been following it a little bit more than I have, because as soon as I saw people talking about it, I was like, oh, nope, delete. I'm not focusing. But KP wanted to talk about it. So yeah, what's some of the stuff that's going around about the big three, man?
Okay. So what I'm going to get, the thing I want to focus on, guys, is this. When you look at with the big three, there are a couple things that I see with this battle that's going on. Number one, it has brought hip hop back to its, I won't necessarily say back to its prime, but this conversation about these three has given hip hop a new sense of a new breath of fresh air, if you will. Since with the whole thing going on with D1 and then the whole drill thing and all that, right? Now it's kind of getting back into who the best MCs, right?
Right.
That's starting to happen. Now, also, but and number two is coming up is the Mount Rushmore conversation. And Big Sean came up into this conversation, right? And I was just explaining to you what he was just called. We're going to get into why he was called a talented bum. All right. And
yeah, which I thought was interesting.
Which is very interesting.
Because let's just go on that for a second. Because you were saying that somebody was calling Big Sean a talented bum. And what was the reasoning on that again?
His lack of consistency.
Right. And so I wanted to say something. I didn't tell you this behind the scenes, so I want to save it for here. So I would disagree with his lack of consistency. He has hella consistency, not under his name. Every Kanye track since he fucking signed to Kanye, from 808s and Heartbreaks, like, you know, some T-Pain shit and like some other artists that he's been working with behind the scenes, all the writing he's been doing, especially for Kanye, he's been consistent as fuck. I mean, I wouldn't see him as a bum. I would see him as somebody who's been forced to stay in the shadows the whole time.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's what I see about that, because I mean, he has helped shaped Kanye's new style for quite a while now. And even T-Pain worked on 808s and Heartbreaks, and hardly anybody knows about that. T-Pain was the main, like, an executive producer on that fucking whole album. You know what I'm saying? Like, and no disrespect to Kanye, because I mean, he's been a great pioneer in a lot of things he's done, but like, people don't fully see, because he's the one out front and it's all under his name. You know, hey, this is Kanye's new song, it's Kanye's new album, stuff like that. They don't see that Big Sean has been writing a bunch of stuff for him. You know, and you know, the reason that Big Sean's the only one that hasn't really left his side, you know what I'm saying, through all of it and everything. So yeah, calling him a bum, I think that's just because he doesn't do all the stuff that he doesn't do under his own name. Like all those songs that he wrote for Kanye, if he would have put those out under his name, you'd be easily saying that he's very consistent.
Yeah, I was. So, when he said it, when I was like, to call him a talented bum, I was like, all right, he's talented, but to say he's a bum, I'm like,
yeah. I think that's because that person doesn't see him up in the highlight in the side, and they're like, oh, well, he's not doing nothing,
right?
Yeah,
right.
But obviously that person doesn't know all he does,
he does, right?
He does a lot behind the scenes, a lot for a lot of artists too. I know Kanye is the biggest one, but he does it for some other people too. If I can't remember, I think maybe some Travis Scott and some shit like that too. Like, he was like the backbone behind the whole Good Music crew, and I'm sure he still works with some of them too. Like, him and Travis Scott still work together, right. So. I mean, there's that. But so I mean, I would probably put him up there as well too. But I think when you're talking about like a Mount Rushmore type of thing, you're looking for influentials as well as the artistic element to it.
Yeah.
And even though he's been highly influential in the game, people don't know.
Yeah.
So I think that's why he hides a lot. But those big three though, Kendrick, Drake, and J.Cole.
Cole.
I do like what you just said about how after the whole D1 thing and everything like that, it's interesting that hip hop's getting a breath of new life, because, you know, they're not saying the Baby, Lil Baby, and Uzi Vert. You know what I'm saying? They're talking about three people, and no matter how I feel about Drake, you know, let's talk about the other two at least, right? Because fuck Drake and his ghostwriters. But like, you know, Kendrick and J. Cole, they are they are very, very lyrical and conscious level artists as well too. So I mean, I agree with what you just said. I like how that is in there. So
yeah, but okay, but for you, what you just said about Drake, all right, let me just say this, okay? Now, love or hate the man, the one thing that he's been able to do, and this was a point that was brought up, was his consistency. He puts out music consistently. He doesn't, and the thing is that he doesn't, they all have three different styles, right? He's more about the music. Kendrick is more about Kendrick and Cole could be more about the message, but I think
they're a lot more about it.
They're more about the message, but with Cole, what's different about him is that he has a very laid back persona, right? He's not, and he's the type of person that when he gets involved in things, he's involved. He doesn't just, he's not just trying to put it out there. People have to take pictures of him being at protests and things like that. So he gets deep, he gets involved. Like, so his message is more on the public and being like the everyday brother. Kendrick is more like trying to find spirituality, he's trying to seek solitude, peace, and kind of put himself in a place where he's number one. And Drake wants to be more of the universal artist. He wants to be more of the universal hip hop artist, right? Like he wants hip hop to be more like, hey, you can put it with Afrobeat, reggaeton, and everything. Like he wants to be able to touch, especially within dance and black music like that, black and Latino brown cultures. He really wants, I can see him really bringing that element to it, right? Like he really wants to bring that.
Yeah, he brings the dance element into it as well too, and that comes from a lot of the Latin culture as well too. Yeah.
That's why I was saying that's why I was saying that. Yeah, because he really does. So he wants to really be more universal. Now, here's the difference that I would say when it comes to those three. Okay? Drake constantly puts out music and he markets it. Kendrick does it in a way where
it's like spurts.
It's spurts, yes. Cole barely ever promotes.
Right.
You end up just it's like when you go up with Cole, it's like you just find out that he dropped something. And you're like, wait a minute. Now, mind y'all, guys, I know I'm a man.
You randomly hear him on a bunch of features or something. Yeah.
And then and then it's like, oh shit, he got something out, right? So, and mind y'all, I know, guys, y'all like this. I'm a metalhead, but I just pay attention to it because I'm looking at it from the perspective of marketing, right? And promotion.
And brand.
And brand, right? And a lot of us metalheads could really learn from watching hip hop brands and stuff as well, and vice versa, especially when it comes to the way metalheads have that solid brand and that that brand that once you get sucked in that black hole, you never leave out of type of thing. Right. But with hip hop, it's more of that people have to be moved. Like they have to be moved in a way where it's like, who's creating the best music, or whose music is moving you, whose message is moving you, what are they doing to make them be solidified as the big three, right? And these factors do play a role. And guys, what I want y'all to understand is when you think about the crowd psychology behind this, okay? When you look at the way those three promote themselves and how they promote, or whoever their labels and who's promoting them, and they're all within Dreamville, right? He promotes himself, but that's the point. You look at the way he does, look at the way J. Cole runs things as far as Dreamville, look at the way Kendrick Lamar is within Top Dog and the label he's run with, and then you look at Drake, right? And how he promotes and things, right? So when you think about how you as an artist, how do you want to be portrayed? And this was the second question I asked. What's more important? The music or the message, right?
What do you think?
I think both.
Then why ask the question which is more important than you answer it with
I mean,
both?
no, but I'm saying because the reason I'm asking that is because
I would agree with both as well too. I'm not busting your balls.
Right.
I'm just saying it's like which is more important. You're like, both. It's like, what? No, hold on. Which one is like we can at least pick one.
But no,
if you're gonna put the question up.
So all right, so to put the question,
Because I was gonna say both, so you took my fucking answer. So
that's why he mad, y'all. He mad because I took his answer.
That's why I'm hating. I'm a hating ass motherfucker.
He mad at the nigga down. Excuse me.
All right. I just wanted to come in here and let every single one of y'all who love raw, real underground hip hop know about a dope show I found over on YouTube. And they're exclusively on YouTube as well, too. All right. It's called Hip Hop Radar Underground. Make sure you go check them out. They got live Friday shows every single Friday, showcasing artists from all across the world, underground, raw, real hip hop. And if you're an artist, you can actually go and submit your music there too and get it popping on that show. It's a great place to go and network with everybody as well too. Everybody that watches that show and tunes in live are raw, real hip hop fans. All right. So it's a great place to find some real lovers of your music. And like I said, if you love listening to dope new music, make sure you go check them out. They also offer artist spotlight interviews as well too. So if you're an artist, you want a spotlight, go ahead and hit them up over there. Me and KP were just previously on there and we had a dope interview, sat down with the host himself, Sack Juggalo, and had a great conversation. It was a great opportunity. So I just wanted to cut this message right here for every single one of y'all who love raw, real hip hop, or you're an artist. Make sure you go check out Hip Hop Radar Underground over on YouTube. You can also follow them over on IG. Make sure you go check them out. All right, let's get back to the show.
Anyway.
No, but like if you had to pick one, which one? Yeah,
I would definitely say Message.
You know, just 51-49 thing, right? You know.
Yeah, I would definitely say for me Message. And I'm looking at it from the perspective of what I'm doing today with my music. So in my music and my whole style, yes, I would definitely say Message for me. But that's the thing, guys. You have to understand which one do you want? What is important to you, right? Is it image? Is it the music that you want to put out? Is it the message? Now, you can have all three, right? Because like we were just saying, like percentile, right? 50, 49, whatever, right? So that's why I also added image, because my image is very, to me, all right, to be honest with you, and I didn't add that in there, but I would say for me, image. And reason I would say image is because that very visual of that artist visual, that visual identity, that to me is what's going to captivate a person and give them the decision of whether they're going to listen to your music or not. In a lot of cases, they do. Not all the time, right? Not all the time. Just want to get that clear.
In general.
But in general, when we think about how music is today, your visual artist identity does play a role on whether or not this person's going to say, let me check out your music, or say, no, he scares me a little bit too much. And I'm saying this because, speaking of a friend of mine, Lanisha, who is the great Break Room Chronicles genius, right? She saw that picture of me that I got.
And she said you scare?
Man, let me tell you.
That's crazy.
Okay, hold on. Let me clap for this for y'all.
KP out there scaring break room women.
Okay. Because
scaring the Safeway workers, man.
Here's the thing, bro. Because here's the thing. She's a sister, right? She's a black woman, right? So the funny thing was that I knew immediately, being black, right, that it was going to fuck with her. But she also has a brother who her brother is a punk guitarist in the band called Cujo. So she understood, but
so it's
she
not
said,
completely foreign to her,
so
but
she's
still.
like, right. But at the same time, she's like, that's too hard for her, right? So now her brother's too hard for her. So when she saw my picture, she was like, oh no, honey, that would scare me. And I knew immediately. I'm like, boy, and I straight up said, I was like, y'all know, black people, most of us nigga, we ain't trying to look. They be like, girl, that nigga nigga demonic, honey. Oh no, he needs Jesus heaven. I swear to God, I had some of my friends want to pour holy water on my black ass, y'all. You
I
understand?
could see that from those pictures, man. It's crazy.
They would totally want to do that, dude. So, but
I could see that, yeah. But that's funny.
But it's funny, and it's funny as hell. And that's the thing was for me. That's what I want. Right.
Yeah.
I want that. I want those reactions because now I know that I've solidified my stance and what I'm trying to
Your
do.
image.
Free Jazz, yeah, it was in my image. But Free Jazz, it was like, yeah, you saw the picture, right? But it was like, it was a cool picture, but it wasn't.
It didn't stand out.
It didn't move anybody. It didn't move anybody. It didn't move shit.
No, I can see that. Yeah, and you know, to go to the message versus music thing, I mean, image plays a part in either, right? Yeah. Image is your overall image, and then it goes like, well, what's more important, the music or the message? Well, it depends on what your level of importance is. Are you talking about gasoline or kerosene? And what I mean by that is,
right.
You know, if you all don't know, if you light gasoline on fire, it has a high flash point. So that's why, obviously, it blows up in your fucking face, right? It burns really hot, really fast, and then fizzles out, you know, in a short period of time. Yep. Comparative to kerosene, which you can actually take a lighter and light the fluid itself, and it won't, set you on fire like gasoline will. Gasoline, you spark a little spark over the fumes, and you got no eyebrows left, right? Yep. You know what I'm saying? Or no mohawk in KP's, for instance, right? But
I got eyebrows too, bro. Leave me alone.
No, I'm just saying,
now,
like, it would fry your mohawk off. That's what I was saying. Yeah, exactly. But you know, you do that with kerosene, you have no problem. You light it. It's just like lighting lighter fluid. You know what I'm saying? Like on a charcoal grill or something, you know? It has that level, but it burns hot and slow for quite a while, you know? And so I would say that the music is more like gasoline and the message is more like kerosene. You know what I'm saying?
That makes sense.
You tie your image into whichever. Like, obviously, you got to have good sonic sounding music, but I think that having the message behind it is what gives you that longevity for your career, as opposed to just that hot flash in the pan type of situation. You know, because we've all seen, you know, one hit wonders or maybe a couple hit wonders. You know what I'm saying? That will flash really, really hot. And then you're like, where'd they go? You know, and you're just like, oh, well, they didn't have their message on point. They were either a cookie cutter or something like that, you know, and like having the message on point is what I think gives you a lot further thing, you know, because like, for instance, J.Cole is, he makes good music. Right. But his is more about the message than anything. So he has the longevity in the eyes of the people who are his fans, right? Right. And so his fans, like, they are members of Facebook groups that talk about J. Cole all the time, and Twitter groups and you know, these fan pages and stuff like that that just post stuff about J. Cole all day. He has nothing to do with them, right? The fans will do all that right there, and then whenever he puts out anything or whatever, they'll take clips and stuff like that, put it towards current events, all that kind of stuff, right? And so he doesn't have to put out music that often, you know. And I mean, yeah, he does have Dreamville, who has JID signed to him, and JID works his ass off and is out there doing stuff. So I'm sure, you know, he's got a lot of the management aspect in it, and with JID, with pushing that dude on, and who's dope. But you know, when it comes to Kendrick, as we said, you know, whereas J. Cole is like here and there, Kendrick is a little bit more consistent, but he's still sporadic, you know, and he's not as consistent as Drake, but he is big on the message, you know, and his evolution from Section 80 or the one right before that had something to do with Jordans, when he was still going by K-Dot. Like right before Section 80, there was one track right before Section 80. But all that stuff, that and Section 80, and even when he moved into Good Kid, Mad City and stuff like that, that was a lot of him reflecting on the street life in Compton where he grew up and stuff like that. And the stuff that he saw in his area that his people and even his friends were going through, you know what I'm saying? Not just the people in his city, but some of his close people were going through. and he see all this stuff going on in his culture, and he's speaking to it, the message of that. And now he's went beyond that. He didn't neglect it, but he's went beyond that to more of like a spiritual type of thing, like you were saying, which is going to be good for everybody who's evolved with him, who he's carried with them, because he's had that longevity with the message, right? He makes good music, but he's had that message, and the message has always been about being better. Even his song Drank, right? A lot of people think it's a drinking song, but it's an anti-alcohol song, right? Yeah. His song ADHD, a lot of people think it's about getting fucked up all day, and it's an anti-getting fucked up song. You know what I'm saying? It's about being, cleansing your body, being pure, and fucking getting away from all that shit. And he's pointing it out through good music to where, like, if you're not on that mental level already, you don't see for what it is, And so, like, when
did
they
you
play
hear the rap? Did you
Hmm?
hear the one? Did you hear Like That from? Did you hear the recent one with him? With Metro Boomin and Future, the song Like That, which is why this whole conversation has come about.
No, I haven't heard that yet. That's the one where he was dissing people.
He basically said, "Nigga," he said, "Fuck the big three, nigga. It's just Big Meat. Nigga,
it's just me.
bow."
Yeah, it's Big Me.
Yeah,
yeah.
Just
and that's grabbing your nuts in public and shit like that, and looking people in the eye type of shit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I get that. That's a part of having bravado and stuff like that. And and I get what it is. Almost being 40 years old, you got to kind of reestablish yourself in front of these youngsters and shit like that. So somebody like him would have to be like, hey, look, I can still grab my nuts. Look at this. You know what I'm saying? Type of thing. But his message, as he evolves, it keeps going with him. Whereas, Rich Boy, for instance, throw some D's on that bitch, right? Mm-hmm. He came out with that song, and then he had like 20 remixes of it, right? And then his next single he came out with, I can't remember the name of it, but it was like a more like, it wasn't necessarily conscious, but it was more, it wasn't that bumping in the trunk style. Yeah. I remember the video was of him walking through a graveyard and stuff, and he's talking about his boys that passed, right? It was like one of those From My Dogs type tracks. And when he came, that was like his single off his next album, and his next album did like nothing, right? Because he was riding that gasoline. He wasn't riding that kerosene. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And then with Drake, he's a different animal. Yes, I know I talk a lot of shit with the Ghostwriting situation, but if you take away that element of it, he is an entertainer, like we talked about with Beyonce a while back, right? Mm-hmm. He is stage shows, and he is that larger than life caricature, right, out there. Even whenever he, his D-pic got released, and he's like, oh, I wasn't hiding my dick from the world, I was hiding the world from my dick or whatever. But you see that shit, that's fucking dumb. But yeah, I was like, oh, that's hilarious. But you didn't hear that, KP?
Nah, I just loved it. That's all.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but he
I cracked up when he did that shit.
When he said that, I was like, really, motherfucker? Like, that's hilarious. But no, he is like, he's an entertainer's entertainer, right? Yeah. Like, that's just what he lives for, and then you could be like, oh, well, yeah, he started out, acting with Degrassi and shit like that, okay, fine, whatever. But like, he is an entertainer's entertainer. And so he's, whether he writes his own music or not, he's on the camera and on the microphone with it, right? And so he's constantly creating, constantly performing, constantly entertaining people. And he's everywhere and all around at once, or whatever the fuck the name of that movie was, right? Everywhere all at once or whatever. But that's where he is. He's on people's features all the time. He's got his own projects he's dropping all the damn time and everything like that, and he's always out on tour and stuff. And so, like, for each one of them, including Big Sean, so each one of those four, I could see them being in a Mount Rushmore of sorts. Obviously, when you first said that people were talking about Mount Rushmore, I'm like, whoa, shit, there's dozens of people that could be the top four before any one of those four. I'm not discounting those four being dope, but I'm just saying, right. Like, I'm saying you can go back. I mean, if you look at how Mount Rushmore is set up, right? You have like the first president and the leader of the Revolutionary War, George Washington.
Oh, yeah.
And then you know what I'm saying? So if you want to do some comparison to that, you'd have to go back to one of the originators of the shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like pick one of the great originators, and you have to put one of them up. You know what I'm saying? You have to go through history like that. You find the founding fathers, and then you know they added MLK on there. No, so you got to find like the revolutionary in the game later on, right? So you have some of the founding fathers, and then one of the revolutionaries in the game later on, type of thing. And so like, you know, you have to do something like that. But in regards to like of the right now, those four, and over the last 10 years or so, those four have definitely been up there.
Well, the reason I brought up about the Mount Rushmore thing is because I was watching Club Shay Shay today. Shout out Club Shay Shay, and he was interviewing Glorilla, and he asked her about her Mount Rushmore, and so that's why I was just like, oh, okay. So just hearing that, and she said, Lil Wayne, Drake, M, and Jay-Z.
I would disagree with half of those, but yeah.
All right,
Wayne's definitely on there. Yeah.
Okay, so who you got? Okay, so who's yours? Who's your Mount Rushmore? Because I got mine too.
So I would see Wayne on there, and he would be more of like revolutionizing the game later on, because whenever he was in his prime in the 2004 to 2008 era, mixtape after mixtape, you know, on everybody's track and shit like that, he changed the game when it came to features. Because I heard T-Pain even talk about this as well too, because T-Pain was one like right there next to him, and it used to be like you didn't do more than 3 features in a year, and T-Pain did 15, and his label got pissed at him and was trying to shelve him and saying, you're doing too much. He's like, motherfucker, I'm making more money. What the fuck you talking about? Right? And that was T-Pain saying that. So Lil Wayne was doing something a lot larger than T-Pain. I mean, they collaborated together, and that's a dope track. You know, can't believe it. Dude, that's a dope fucking track. Oh, I can't believe it. Yep, that's a dope track. But anyway.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. I just wanted to hop in here again real quick. Yes, I know again, but you know what? We rock with a lot of people here, and a lot of people rock with us here at Music Making Sense Podcast. So I got to tell you about all these great people, all right? And this one right here, right now, is Mad K Studios, all right? Go check them out, madkstudios.com. Mad K is a dope artist, man. This guy can draw or paint almost anything, okay? He really, really specializes in, like, portrait arts for memorialization of your favorite car or a family member or a loved one or something like that. All right. Full commission artwork, no copy and paste shit or nothing like that. All right. Custom designs. If you want it, make sure you go hit up madkstudios.com for your custom art piece. And you can even go check out some of the pieces that he's done for freelance and stuff like that. And you can also get it on a shirt. He's got coffee mugs and mouse pads and all kinds of other decorative pieces of artwork that you can go and check out as well too. So if you're a connoisseur of art, you're looking for a nice piece of knickknack or something like that around the house, or if you want a custom artwork designed for a loved one or something that's cherished in your life that you want memorialized in an actual painting, a real painting, make sure you go check out madkstudios.com. Let them know Harco's over at Music Making Sense Podcast sent you. All right, let's get back to the show. Anyway, but Lil Wayne, he really set the bar for when it comes to how to promote yourself via features and just hammering the market, flooding the market with content, right?
Okay.
And he did that like at the beginnings of social media, right? You're talking about 2005, 2008. That's MySpace was still there and Facebook was starting to pop off, right?
Facts.
iPhones and stuff like that were just starting to come out. You know, for those of y'all young ass motherfuckers, you don't remember, but that was like a big, that was a big turning point in music, right? That's when music, like the marketing aspect of it took off quite a bit, because you now had, once iPhones and smartphones came out, you now had access to music 24/7, as much as you wanted, and you could switch from one person to another. Because before that, you had, if you had an iPod, you know, you had your playlist and you had your whole collection that you had to download into your fucking thing. But guess what? You still had to get physical CDs off my wall. Obviously, you didn't have them on the wall, then you had them in cases. But, and then you have to put them in your computer, which had a disk drive, which is where you put a disk inside of the computer, which my computer doesn't even have anymore. And then you had to
Mine
burn
still
it.
does. It's weird.
Oh, mine doesn't. I got this in 2020 though. But it's a desktop. It's a gaming desktop. It has no disk drive. And it would have been extra $100. So that's why I said no. But anyway, like they come standard without them. But like, you had to do all kinds of extra shit just to get your music and everything like that. Or you just had to have the CDs with you in the fucking fat ass book. And like sometimes if you didn't have it zipped up all the way and you hit the brakes, they would fucking fly all over your goddamn floor. You know what I'm saying? It was a pain in the ass because then with these things, like if you got one too many scratches on a goddamn CD, it was toast. Like I remember this one right here. The game is to be sold, not to be told. When Snoop Dogg signed to No Limit for like an album or two.
Yeah.
This CD right here, I remember I was in, what was it, 6th or 7th grade, somewhere in there. I was in middle school. I remember that when this came out, right? Mm-hmm. And I had it. And I would be listening to it while I was rollerblading home from school or like around the park or whatever, I'm saying, from school to home or whatever. But I would like rollerblade around town. And even though I had like the times 40 ESP, like electronic skip protection on my Walkman, I still would have to hold it and like kind of move my hand up and down to go over the bumps and stuff like that. Cause if not, it would skip. And I scratched the CD so much that I had a hard time listening to it after a while.
So is he on your top? So is he on your Mount Rushmore?
Snoop Dogg? Oh, sorry. Yeah. Take me back to the original conversation because I got off on a tangent on tangent.
Hell yeah, you did. That's what I was like.
But yeah, so Wayne is on there.
Wayne.
Yeah, so okay. Wayne is on there. I would put Pac on there as well too because he really changed the game when he came out as well too. I think the game changers are ones that should be on there. So
okay,
them.
So who you got?
So I got Pac and Wayne. And I have Nas on there as well too because he was a game changer roughly 10 years before that. Yeah. And then people are really gonna get pissed off at me for this next one because now we're going back to like the 70s. And in the 70s,
Curtis Blow.
Well, not too many people are going to piss off at me. So in the same lane of revolutionizing things and making hip hop have a bigger stance than what it had before this person started doing their thing, I would say LL Cool J.
That's 70s. You said 70s.
Well,
like,
that's 80s, but yeah,
because I'm like Curtis. You gonna say? I was like Curtis. That's why I said Curtis Blow.
Yeah, he would be one. Yeah, he would be one of the Godfathers in there. Yeah, so him, Kool Herc, Kool Herc, because he basically got it started. So yeah, I'd probably say Kool Herc actually. Yeah, so Kool Herc would be on there. The reason I wanted to add LL Cool J in there because I didn't. That was the 80s. Is because of how he revolutionized things, but I think I would take him back out of there because I never really wanted to put him in there anyway. But yeah, Kool Herc because he he really took it from like that house party to the block party and then kind of set it off from there. He started the trend of all the other people coming, Grandmaster Flash and all them coming up later and stuff like that. Everybody, creating the mixing boards from 2 record players and they fuse it together and shit like that. Like the whole something from nothing aspect that I love about hip hop is building out something great from nothing. And like these motherfuckers were in like homeless shelters and shit. Like KRS-One was in a homeless shelter along with a lot of these other dudes back then. Stuff like that. Huh?
Yeah, just speaking of my Rushmore, he's one of them. So I got Rakim, KRS-One, Run DMC, and believe it or not, MC Light.
I could see that one. Yeah. Yeah. So your Mount Rushmore is like some more of the founders. Yeah, which makes sense. Yeah. No, I'm not discounting some of the founders. I just, like I said, the founders back when it was all getting started.
I'm also going by lyrical too, like because I just think
KRS-One is definitely on there.
I think Rakim and KRS-One and MC Light. I mean, all right, actually, I'm gonna take Run DMC off because I think as far as they're more of a group, I would put them in the group Mount Rushmore. But if you're going individuals, I would say I'm gonna go with Rakim, KRS-One, Queen Latifah, and MC Light.
Yeah, because Queen Latifah did yeah. I
And
mean,
she
I
can
like
rap. I mean, lyrically, I'm just
that
saying.
too.
To me, it's the way they rap. I think they are like. To me, they're the top four. They're just four MCs in the game.
Yeah, I base mine off of other things besides just lyrics, obviously, because all the people I listed were all, except for Kool Herc, were like very lyrical, and
Facts.
so, but like, KRS-One is definitely on there. That's who I was originally going to say whenever I was like, people were gonna get pissed off at me for that, because a lot of times when you mention KRS-One and not mentioning LL Cool J, people get pissed off because of how LL Cool J really brought to light and leveled up the awareness of hip hop because of the way that he was moving, the same way that Pac did, the same way that Lil Wayne did, you know what I'm saying, stuff like that as well too, and even Nas as well too. But Nas was different.
I think LL was more of the sex symbol. I think he brought the sex. I think when he came out with like, especially with radio, and it was just the way he came out. He came out with that rugged sexiness. Like it was like, oh, ooh. For this boy, right? Like,
exactly.
Like,
yeah, but he had the persona as well. Yeah, and that was all tied in there as well too. Yeah, so that's why a lot of people put him on theirs, and I don't really consider him on there for that. Like, because I do go more for like changing the game, but also lyricism. It's like I couldn't just have 4 people on a Rushmore. I just couldn't, just because now, there is KRS-One and everything too.
Well, when it comes to when it comes to the album selling aspect of hip hop, I'll definitely put LL as number 1, and I'm going to put him number 1 as number. And then you got this is gonna fuck a lot of people up. You got him, Ludacris, Eminem, and Drake. That's who I would say
when you go based off of album sales,
when you can base it off album sales,
Yeah, unfortunately, as much as I don't like to acknowledge Eminem for shit, but yeah, he definitely he was able to move some units quite a bit. Yeah, and so
I mean, I would. Yeah. Some would say Flow Rider, but I don't think he had enough.
He didn't have as long enough reign. I mean, fuck, if you're gonna put Flow Rider in there, you might as well change that out for DMX instead. I mean, DMX had a hell of a fucking reign and sold a lot of fucking units. You know what I'm saying? Maybe not as much as Eminem, but DMX, like he did a lot, for the game. Snoop Dogg has done a lot for the fucking game as well too. Yeah. I mean, I would be surprised if he hadn't sold a lot. And then of course there's Tech Nine.
He goes on that West Coast Mount Rushmore. Tech Nine will go on that independent Mount Rushmore.
Right, that's what I was saying is that Tech Nine was a real revolutionary. Like the mainstream's over here, and he's like paved his own fucking road right next to it. You know what I'm saying? And so he would go on there. Very interesting. There's a lot of influential, Master P, paving the way for independent as well too. In there, really pretty hardcore as well. With No Limit and everything. I mean, fuck, he even signed Snoop Dogg there, like we were talking about for a little bit, But yeah, I mean, there's been a lot of very influential people in hip hop and stuff. But over the last decade, it's definitely been the 3 that everybody are talking about right now. Because everybody else, they've had their time, and their time had passed. Their time had passed. And they were very influential in their time, but these 3 in this time, they're definitely, I would definitely say that those 4. And like I said, the reason we would put Big Sean in there is because of the behind the scenes shit that he does to change the style of the game. When Kanye came out with his new style based off of Big Sean's work, like it changed the way that everybody started rapping after that. Facts. And so, I mean, I'm not taking anything away from Kanye because he's very revolutionary in his own right. But I mean,
on a Mount Rushmore as far as innovators.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, we can have Rushmore for innovators, for revolutionaries, for fucking MCs, for fucking album sales. You know what I'm saying?
Ladies,
all kinds of stuff.
Ladies who definitely,
but when it could be, ladies, But when it comes down to it, you can take lessons from all of these, and you'd be like, hey, look. So as an artist, do I want to be gasoline or kerosene? You know what I'm saying? Do I want to be Rich Boy who had a hit and faded away, or do I want to be somebody like Drake, who's a universal artist, like you said, which is a great way to put him, or somebody like Kendrick, who's got that longevity, or somebody like J. Cole, who literally dresses like he only has $10 to his name, and then like
there's Metro Boomin, who's
when he puts out his music, he puts it out, and it's he's got a very rabid fan base. You know, I mean, he doesn't have to have a huge fan base to have a very rabid one. That's the thing with J. Cole, and Kendrick in his own right as well too. You know, but like, yeah, like you just gotta think about it as an artist. Like, what kind of, not necessarily who do I want to be, what kind of path do I want to take? What kind of connection do I want to have with my fans? You know what I'm saying? You know, because Drake can move units, he can make money like none other, right? But he doesn't really have a deep connection with his fans the way that J. Cole does, or even Kendrick on a level, right? But mainly J. Cole, right? So, like, what do you want? Do you want to be a Drake where as soon as you stop, people might forget about you, and that maybe that's why he hasn't stopped? Or you want to be somebody who can like come out once every 3 years with just a song like J. Cole and still maintain? You know what I'm saying?
I think people totally. I just gotta say this. I think you, not people,
Right.
but I think you, and no, I'll say this, other people, because I've heard other people who've said he's a bitch and he not gonna go after Kendrick for this and stuff like that, right? But I feel like with Drake, there's something that you said that's so important that makes him so powerful, and it would be hard to forget. He's a hell of an entertainer, and he knows how to touch people universally.
Oh, I thought you were going to talk about his dick pic. But yeah, he does entertain the fuck out of people. Absolutely. Those of y'all listening only, as soon as I said that, KP's face just went blank as fuck. He was staring at me like, are you fucking kidding me, dude?
It's like no matter what, you ain't gonna let you just don't fucking.
You know me though. Anytime you get super serious, even if I get super serious, I gotta say something dumb as fuck to break the fucking monotony of it. I love being serious. I love being on point, but then I just like punch it up at the end.
But it's funny, but no, I mean, I'm not trying to like, but I'm sitting here trying to like make it where I'm not trying to like just make it a hate Drake moment, because everybody just, from FD Signifier to you, to everybody just be just ripping on that poor guy. But then at the same time,
I don't rip on him for his dick pic. I rip on him for the motherfucking the having his fucking duck lips and fucking his duck lips and him fucking bows in his hair, but then also like him just not it being a committee every time he makes a fucking track. You know what I'm saying? Which is how a lot of the majors do it. I get it. But like there's plenty of majors that don't have committees when they make tracks, you know, but he does, because he's the universal entertainer. That's just his job. That's what he does. He likes the job, apparently, or he likes the perks of it, one of the two. And so
that's why, like, Corey used to called him Contract Poppy.
That's one way to do it. That he definitely is Contract Poppy.
I said, this nigga Corey stupid, bro. Corey, shout out to Corey, man. Corey on No Labels Necessary, man. Man, he said that, dude. I cracked up. I said, oh my God.
Yeah, well,
but also, too,
the
thing is that he likes, it's like, you know what, but I don't know, man. I think Megan Thee Stallion can get him. Because when she get mad, I think she gonna ice him, though. She gonna murk him. I think she gonna body him if she gonna
yeah.
Everybody can talk shit. Megan Thee Stallion can bust, boy.
Well, see, that's the thing, though, is that everybody, including Drake, knows that Drake cannot purely freestyle. So if they happen to have like a off the cuff battle, he would lose. So they're not gonna do it.
Megan Thee Stallion will eat him alive. I think
anybody would eat him alive.
Well, I mean, but I'm saying like, but I think sometimes like when people list like because when I think about them being the big three, like honestly, man, I'm like I don't know because you got to look at Nicki,
Hmm?
you got to look at fucking Megan,
Mm-hmm.
and
Your
Cardi.
favorite? Yeah, your favorite Sexy Red.
He says, shake that ass, bitch.
Yeah,
Hands
exactly.
on your knees. Hands on your knees. I love that ratchet shit.
Whatever.
I
If you
love
love
that
it, you love
ratchet
it.
shit. That's right, baby. Go on, ratchet. But no, you got to look at Cardi B,
Mm.
right? You got to look at, you know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I don't know, man, because just, I get it. I understand it. But now, I mean, let's, I know because a lot of guys are like, well, I'm tired of the slut rap. I'm tired of the ratchetness. Y'all be getting on my nerves with this ratchetness sisters. Shut up, bitch. I don't give a fuck about what you niggas be talking
Yeah,
about.
but if you think
anyway,
about it at the same time, I mean, like female MCs were rarely getting any light unless they were on.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's the bad part.
But
I mean,
at
like
the same time,
Queen Latifah, and there's like a few other ones, Erykah Badu and shit like that, that were able to do it in a wholesome way. But
hold up. So you you saying that dudes wasn't doing no ratchet shit?
no, I'm not talking about.
So you
that.
saying okay?
No,
So you talking about like let's
no, I'm just talking about
talk
females only. Yeah, I'm just talking about females.
No,
only. I'm not trying to compare them.
Hell no.
But I'm
no,
just saying,
I
like,
am.
no.
Because that's
Right.
dope. Because I can sit here and compare them. Here's why. Number one, Luke Skywalker, dog. 2 Live Crew was. Come on, man. Come
2
on,
Live
man.
Crew was definitely on
Come
there,
on.
right?
That's all I need to say.
But what I was
2
trying
Live
to,
Crew.
yeah, exactly. I agree. But what I was trying to say is that females don't get any light in general unless they do some shit to make them stand out, which is kind of fucked up. But there have been some who have stood out in a not ratchet way. You know what I'm saying? But
when we
the
look
ratchet
at
ones kind of
make
go more.
But at the same time, if we put rhyme for rhyme, when we go rhyme for rhyme, I'm telling you right now, I honestly can see those three ladies matching up with the big three that everybody's talking about.
It could be solid, yeah. Yeah, it could be a solid competition.
I can see them going. I can see them fucking. And already, I can say to me personally, like we always say, Drake would definitely get murked by Megan Thee Stallion.
He would finish sixth out of those 3-on-3. Yeah. He would finish sixth.
Yeah,
that's what I think. I think that everybody would smoke his ass. Everybody, all the females, all the other guys, he would be last on the list.
Damn.
Yeah, that's how I see it. But yeah, no, I get what you're saying. You know that maybe the next conversation will be about the big three between the females. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, there's a lot of different things we can go on into that one. But it we're going a little long in the tooth here. But it definitely comes down to their connection with their fans. Who has a greater impact on the game as a whole, who has a greater impact with their fans and are able to move fans in a certain way. And I think that's the biggest lesson to learn from all of this. Like, no matter what big three or what Mount Rushmore you want to talk about, whether, it's like, do you have the music or the message? And I think you got to have good music. Obviously, that goes without being said for most people. Some people it doesn't, but it goes for most people. But the message is what gives you that longevity and that deeper connection with your fan base, in my point of view. Just, because that helps solidify your brand identity that you were talking about, KP, with your image. You know what I'm saying? Yep. The message ties in with your image as long as they both fit together, obviously, right? If you fit both of those together, your message and your image, and then put that on dope music, that's like the cocktail, And I'm not talking about Drake's DP. I'm talking about an actual cocktail concoction, okay? And but yeah, like that's where it's at, is you gotta do that. So, as KP loves to say, which he came up with this idea, it's a great one, is, well, you heard from somebody else, you brought it to light on the show, is create the content and then the music. that what that's how you say it, right? Yeah.
Yep.
And
Create
so
the content first, then the music.
yeah, and so I
Then
mean, the
song.
message and your image is the content, and then put the music after that, you know. And so yeah, 100%. I think that's definitely the good takeaway is going back to what KP always says about creating the content, and then the music. You got to have your message and your image on point, and then the music on point, 100%. And then maybe you'll be mentioned in the top 3 of the next decade. You know.
Hell yeah.
There you go.
There you go.
Yeah. Maybe KP will be in a Mount Rushmore discussion as well too, like the most influential people in metal or something, you know?
That'd be fucking
Hell
crazy.
yeah. There we go.
Right.
There you go. Absolutely.
Totally.
So, all right, any last thoughts, Mr. P?
Nah, bro, I'm good, man.
All right, there we go. It was definitely a good discussion today, good topic and everything like
man.
that. You always yep. Yeah, you always see, the thing is, a lot of y'all don't know is most of the time KP, like before the show, I ask KP, I'm like, hey, what do you want to talk about? And he usually picks something. He focuses on a lot of things, current events or different things like that and everything like that, in the industry or just within, music and total and stuff. And so he comes to me, he's like, oh, I want to talk about this. And so then half the time I go in, with no information, like no relevance, and so then I ask him about it. He sets the stage or whatever. I give my opinion on stuff and we discuss, so absolutely, that's just some back office shit on how we put the show together. We don't have a script or an itinerary or nothing like that. When something pops into either one of our heads, we'll mention it to the other one and then we'll discuss, and usually we try to keep most of the discussion to on air. That way, if one of us, makes a solid point, we don't have to try to remember it and repeat it again on the episode, or, say something funny or clippable or whatever, saying something that stands the fuck out. We can say it right here on the episode and, then it's good content for you guys. We're not just saying it behind your back. So, exactly. But yeah, I'm starting to ramble, which means it's getting late. So that's one of the things about us doing this later in the evening now. I'm just like winding down, but it's all good. But yeah, so we'll see you on the next episode of Music Making Sense Podcast. Make sure you go to musicmakingsensepod.com for any and everything Music Making Sense Podcast. Make sure you sign up for the newsletter as well too. I've been trying to put out at least one newsletter a week that are based off of my like walking thoughts and discussions and stuff that I've been trying to do at least once a week about different topics in the music industry. Some of them have to do with what we talk about in the episode. Some of them have to do with something else that I happen to run into. But yeah, make sure you sign up for Music Makes Sense Podcast for newsletter, absolutely free. It's not spammy, it's not salesy, nothing like that. It's information based, and make sure you check that out. And join the discussion. You can always reply back on your thoughts with a letter. I usually leave it in an open-ended comment or open-ended question as well too. At the end of them, I'll say, hey, what do you think though? Do you disagree with me? If so, let me know. If you agree with me, let me know too. Stuff like that. So join the conversation.
Definitely leave comments. Yeah, and leave comments on the YouTube for sure, man. You guys go ahead and just really, because I really like because if you guys check us out on the video, then you guys will definitely get a taste of what you guys get a better taste of what we're about, and then just and just really comment.
Yeah, and both of us get in the comments as well too.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, both of us get in the comments. I normally comment via the Music Making Sense Podcast channel, and KP will be on there with his own personal one. Sometimes he'll use the Music Making Sense Podcast one, but either way, we respond to every comment, even if it's some of the weird ones. We'll still respond, and all that stuff. So, yeah, there's been a couple of weird ones. I'm like, okay, I'm still gonna let me take something professional to say, and yeah, and but yeah, join the conversation, and if you have any topics that you want to discuss or whatever that you happen to hear about, shoot us a message on any of the platforms wherever you're hearing this or any of the socials. Like I said, musicmakingsensepod.com for any and everything Music Making Sense Pod, and let us know what you want to discuss if there's anything at the top of your mind. So until next time, play that funky music, KP.
Right.